the Cerebral Smack Talk Friday night edition right here on StreamYard and YouTube.com. It is Girl MF Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Florio, the Twisted Angel D.D. Woodson. We're awaiting Michael Bullock, but it doesn't seem like we're going to get him. Unfortunately, Anthony gave me the bad news that normally they have their traditional Friday night Smackdown chat, and it didn't happen. So who knows if we're going to get him tonight or not. So with that said, we're just going to dive right in. Guys, Smackdown live tonight from the Bankers Life Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana, exclusively on Fox. However, guys, programming note, and we'll tell you this next week, SmackDown Live will not be on Fox. It will be on FS1. We'll explain the reason why that happened in just a minute, in a little bit. But with that said, we started it off with a highly profiled match. This was announced earlier today on WWE.com. And boys, this was a huge one for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. The champion, Shinsuke Nakamura, goes one-on-one with the big dog, Roman Reigns. However, when the match was all said and done, the winner of the bout in 11 minutes and 45 seconds via disqualification was Roman Reigns. King Corbin comes out and hits Reigns with the scepter, causing the disqualification. You know what? I'm going to say it. Good fight. Great start to the show. I don't mind the DQ finish, though. I don't mind it. It makes Reigns feel strong. Obviously, it kind of feels like the Intercontinental title, even though he won it once before, maybe now, probably not the best time to strap him. And on top of that, it furthers the storyline between him, Baron Corbin, and there was a little bit of a Twitter war going on between Baron Corbin and Roman Reigns. Baron Corbin very upset over the fact that Roman Reigns was the #1 pick for SmackDown Live. Corbin feels like it should have been him. He goes after Reigns, but we also had Daniel Bryan show up to try to get him some, to try to even up the odds. It leads to a big fight later on in the night, a main event fight. We'll get into that a little bit later on. But, Anthony, it is all yours. I could give this at least maybe 2.5, 3 stars. I thought this was a good opener. And it was wrestling, not a talking segment that started SmackDown Live.
Touche. I understand.
Well played.
Yeah, well played indeed. Monday Night Raw is notorious for starting the show with a talking segment, and I wouldn't be surprised if we get a long windbag talking segment come Monday night in Cleveland, but we'll address that on Monday night. But for right now, I got to be the man who tells it like it is here. I gotta go Jesse mode on this one. My patience for the influx of non-finishes is wearing a little thin. MFs may say he doesn't mind the DQ, but I very much do, especially with who caused the DQ. Constable Bleepface, who is now MF's problem on SmackDown Live. Hallelujah, thank you, Lord. But I will say this: it was a solid match throughout, and I like that they presented it at the top of the show as a big deal. Michael Cole and Corey Graves did an admirable job selling this as a legitimate title fight, and it had more of a sports feel than we typically see. That was lost relatively quickly between Lame Duckman, Sami Zayn's antics, and King Corbin's interference. I don't know how exactly this feud is going to break down going forward, but I doubt I'm the only one who has no interest in seeing Roman Reigns and King Corbin matched up. It could be leading towards a feud between those two. Something that I really don't want to see, and all I can say is I'm glad this is on SmackDown and not on Raw. So that's all I can say there. So, but for the effort, I will give it 3 stars. Yes, I agree with you on that. But definitely some very interesting developments later on in the night, because Daniel Bryan came out and and he cleaned house. But then Nakamura, Zayn, and Corbin get the best of Bryan and Reigns at the end of the day, and it leads into a very interesting main event that gets made for later on, which MF I know will set the table for, as he always does. So I will give it a solid 3 stars for the effort. Very good match. I just hated the finish, especially who caused it. So glad he's not my problem anymore. So nothing more to say. Didi Woodson, come on in. Let's get your thoughts on this Intercontinental Heavyweight title match.
Yeah, I'm a little tired of the DQ finishes myself, but it is what it is. We're stuck with it. I'm one. I don't care so much for having a lot of interference, a lot of disqualification stuff. It just it can ruin a match that you're really into, and then all of a sudden, boom, they end it with something that just kind of drops the ball. And they're probably setting up something with some sort of feud with Corbin down the road, but it is what it is. It was it was a good start to SmackDown, better than a talking segment. If I have to give it a rating, I'd give it probably 2 3/4 of a star, just because the beginning of the match was really good until Corbin stuck his big fat nose into it. So not much more I'm going to say about it. Fletch, let's move on.
All right, and then we have, unfortunately, a cutout on SmackDown Live. Very rare that happens on this show, but we do have one, as it was Chad Gable going one-on-one with Curtis Axel. Chad Gable wins the match at 1 minute and 55 seconds, and then he cut a promo with Kayla Braxton inside the ring. All right, I'm going to say it like this. They talk about, how the Shorty Gable gimmick comes in and the whole 9 yards, and we all came right after it and slammed it. We said that was bad, that was horrible, that should never have been used. But Chad Gable turns around and says, you know what? I always thought that being short would have been a disadvantage for a long time. But in reality, it makes him who he is. And that this is his life. And it's okay to be exactly who you are. He added that people will make fun of you, but he thanked them because he feels like they should embrace who they are. And you shouldn't run or hide from these people. You should accept who they are, and I accept who I am. Now, in hindsight, great story. In hindsight, very moving message. But then you turn yourself, and now you're going to refer to yourself as Shorty G. Now that is where that's a palm face moment. You took such a great uplifting speech, and then basically complete 180 yourself and go with something that's even more worse than what you originally were referred as. So it's kind of like, I liked where it was going until the end. And then at that point, the rug pull out from under you and you're like, oh, you had me there and then you had to go there. That's the Michael Fletcher I can't take it face at that point. That's the towel over the face, and I'm shaking my head like, oh, WWE, you had me at an uplifting moment, and I love the message going up. Embrace who you are. Embrace what you have. It doesn't matter if you're, I think that was a good message, but the delivery at the end was so flat. It basically just, it made it a cringe-worthy moment. Like, I'll openly admit it. The message was nice, but the name change was even worse. it left a bitter taste in the mouth. So nothing more to say. That's just me getting off my high horse, guys. So let's just go into the next fight. An 8-man tag team fight. It was the New Day, Xavier Woods and Big E with Otis and Tucker, Heavy Machinery, and they went up against Bobby Roode, Dolph Ziggler, and Say Yeah, the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, Scott Dawson, Dash Wilder, the Revival, when it was all said and done, winners of the bout in 10 minutes and 45 seconds was the New Day and Heavy Machinery as Xavier Woods hit the midnight hour on Dawson to get the victory. Anthony Florio, pretty good 8-man tag and a nice little tie-in because coming up this Thursday at WWE's Crown Jewel from Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, a big gauntlet match for the World Cup to decide the best tag team in the world. This time, hopefully no chicanery, no stupidity like Shane McMahon winning it. Hopefully we have it sounds like we're going to have a legitimate tag team winning this tournament.
Hopefully so. But let me just say that. I got to correct you. It's not this Thursday. It's the Thursday after. It's on Halloween.
It's on Halloween day. Yup. Sorry about that.
Halloween, boy. Halloween. Yep. I mean, let me say this. When it comes to Halloween, usually the kids get all the treats. Well, this is one of the rare times I can say the adults get a treat here. I mean, yeah, I know it's a Saudi show, yes, but I love the way they're building it. Like I've been saying over the last couple of weeks, this could be the best Saudi show if all goes well. Keyword if. But, we'll wait and see come Halloween. But for right now, I'm going to go as far as to say this was my fight of the night, to be honest with you. I mean, you can make an argument for Reigns and Nakamura. But this was a good 3 1/4 to 3.5 star match. This was a fun match. It was primarily used as a vehicle to promote the largest tag team turmoil ever at Crown Jewel. As is the case with most New Day matches, much of the match was consumed by Xavier Woods being cut off from his partners, which can cause things to drag a bit. Thankfully, that section of the match was a bit shorter than usual. Heavy Machinery seemed to be getting over well with the crowd, and on the heel side, I like the duo of Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler. I hope that this team continues even in the aftermath of them losing the Raw Tag Team titles, as we saw this past Monday night when they lost those titles to the Viking Raiders. Very welcome move, by the way. So, and hey, New Day get the fall on the champions, I do believe. So, MF, I smell perhaps a championship committee moment.
It's very possible. Yes, I won't disagree with that.
And that might not be the last time we say that here tonight. So there's a hook for you all to tune in. So 3 1/4, 3.5 for me. This was my default fight of the night, even though it wasn't the greatest, but it was a fun match though. That's all I can say on that. I would have given it to the Intercontinental bout, but that DQ finish obviously hangs over it. So 3 1/4, 3.5. My at least for me, it's my fight of the night. So nothing really more to say. D.D. Woodson, New Day over the Revival at the end. So it looks like they're going to get a SmackDown tag title opportunity in the future.
Potential. I would say that would be a good shot for them to possibly get it. This was a good match to hype up the Saudi Arabia match. And the match was good. It was fun. It was energetic. And, it looks like that they are possibly going to set up, New Day versus Revival. But, we never know. It definitely is a community moment. So, I'll agree with the rating. It was a very well done match. So, yeah, I don't have much more to say about it. Fletch, it's yours.
All right. And then we had the Miz TV with the new SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley. But Bayley didn't come alone. Her bestie, the Boston Hug connection no more. Now it's just Sasha Banks and Bayley together. And Dee Woodson, I gotta admit, I was very impressed. I am liking the Bayley heel turn more and more and more. I'm really enjoying her as a heel now.
She's doing a pretty good job. I mean, you wouldn't have thought that she would be able to pull it off the way they were starting it out with, maintaining the Bayley buddies, maintaining the bouncy catchy song and everything. But now she's really turned on everybody, especially the fans, and the saying how she was doing all this to impress everybody else's kids. Now she's kind of doing this for herself and stuff like that. She really turned it around, and really made it very heelish. And I thought Miz did a great job on the interview portion of this, and even being shocked that Sasha would come out there, even though he had 3 chairs in the ring. He seemed kind of shocked, that she was there with them for this. But where else would she be? I mean, these two are 2 peas in a pod. So yeah, this definitely very good moment, especially leading up to the match that's going to follow. So I have nothing more to say. Fletch, it's yours.
I thought it was beautifully done. I thought it was well orchestrated. I thought it was solid for what it was worth. It was a longer segment than I intended that it should have been, but I didn't mind it because of the fact that the way she presented herself and the way she threw everything out there, I enjoyed it. That's why I really loved how she really backlashed at the fans, talking and ripping on them about, you guys were never there for me when I lost my title to Charlotte Flair, when I was in tears, I was brokenhearted. Where was the condolences? Where was the, everything else, and she was like, for a long time, I just had enough. I just wanted it to unleash and whatever. So at the end of the day, I did not mind the storyline at all. And I actually am embracing the heel turn of Bayley. And with the new haircut, the new attitude, the new, the entrance and everything else, to me, it's getting better and better and better week in and week out. I'm enjoying it. And, I think, Anthony, you can say it's a breath of fresh air to see Bayley now as a heel. And this is full-fledged heel. This isn't just, she did something one time that was very heel-like, and then she went babyface back the next week. No, she is not tweening anymore. She's definitely a heel, and I love it. Florio, it's yours. I thought they did a really good job with this.
I agree. And I'll tell you, MF, for me, this was the non-wrestling segment of the night right here. I do have a couple of nitpicks though. Bayley's explanation was fine. Like most of her promo work, it felt a little contrived and too heavily scripted. She and Sasha both stumbled over their words a bit, but tried their best to recover. The Miz moved the segment along nicely. And given that the crowd wasn't really all that into Bayley as a babyface, it's hard to imagine that they're really going to get heavily behind booing her. If anything, this changing character seems to have made her a more compelling character to cheer for. Now, there was something else that happened after this. The entrances for the next match, 2 of them, thankfully, there was only 2. I strongly disliked the parade of challengers coming down to cut individual promos. That's something that WWE often uses in these situations. I'm thankful that they limited that to just 2 in Nikki Cross and Dana Brooke. Nikki Cross just rattled off some cliches, and Dana Brooke tried her best. So, but other than that, though, other than those couple of nitpicks, I mean, it was a very good segment. Bailey with the heel turn, well done. Great first heel promo, and having Sasha there, that definitely made it even better. Bailey's character finally gets that tweak we've been wanting over the last few years. And the very last thing that she said, it was a throwback. When you heard her say life sucks and then you die, that was a throwback to those very same words that Mr. Vince McMahon said on a SmackDown way back in the year 2000 during the McMahon-Helmsley regime era. We all remember that. So, nice little throwback there. Don't think I didn't notice that. I did. So, well done. So, non-wrestling segment of the night. Could have been a little better, yes, but at the end, though, very, very good. So, nothing more to say, MF. A huge opportunity for your six brand new women on SmackDown Live. Well, at least you have a couple still there, but especially for those newbies who got drafted.
Oh yeah, and it was Mandy Rose, Dana Brooke, Lacey Evans, Sonya Deville, Carmella, and Nikki Cross. One of these six would become it. The winner would get a title shot at the SmackDown Women's title, basically becomes the new number one contender. And when it was all said and done, Nikki Cross wins, and she now earns the opportunity at Bayley for the SmackDown Women's Championship. And I'm going to say decent fight, good match, 2.5 stars. I mean, there was a commercial break that kind of watered the fight down a little bit, but once it got back to the commercial break, there was a nice little Tower of Doom, a triple suplex moment that they showed via the replay, and I thought the match was good. It was solid. I don't mind Nikki Cross getting the title shot. I think it is her time. It's a nice matchup for her and Bayley to have a good match. I know they're going to want Bayley to successfully defend the title, and I kind of feel like Nikki deserves an opportunity. She hasn't really gotten that many shots at the title. I think the last time she did was against Becky Lynch, but I don't remember that being for any championship. I think this might be either her first or second championship opportunity ever in her career. So huge opportunity for Nikki Cross, a fresh face getting an opportunity. SmackDown Live has been known to do that from time to time. Anthony Florio, decent fight, nothing amazing about it, but I love the fact that Nikki gets to play and gets a shot at the SmackDown Women's title.
Out of all the challengers in this match, nobody was more deserving. That's all I can say on that. And yeah, God forbid if it had been anybody else, especially Carmella. Whoa, boy, the backlash that would have came out of that. Especially, yeah, because we all know. Yeah, if I could hear it now. If Mella had won, what people would have said on social media. But we're not going to go there. You already know that story, so we're just gonna, park it there. 2.5 to 3 stars. Chaotic match. I'm not sure where Alexa Bliss is at, but her star presence was missed in this one. You quickly get a feel for how thin these women's rosters are, especially on the babyface side. They really need to do some work to make credible challengers out of these women, but I doubt their commitment to doing so. Nikki Cross was the right winner here, and really the only woman of the 6 that makes any sense whatsoever as a challenger for Bayley and the SmackDown Women's Championship right now. Dana Brooke, no way. Fire and Desire, more so Sonya Deville, but not quite there yet. Mandy still needs some work. Lacey Evans just got there. Mel has already had a run with it. And that's really all there is to say on that. So, no question about it. I mean, the most logical and sensical move out of this was to give it to Nikki, and she definitely deserves it. The only question is, when do we do it? I mean, it's obviously not going to be at Crown Jewel, because we all know no women allowed in Saudi Arabia, so, which is a damn shame, but it is what it is. So it'll probably have to be at a SmackDown, on a future Friday Night SmackDown, because once Crown Jewel is done, the next event, of course, my favorite event of the year, the Survivor Series, and you got to imagine, barring a very surprising change in direction for the event this year, my gut tells me it's going to be Raw versus SmackDown for the 4th year in a row. And in a way, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm kind of hoping for it. I love when it's Raw versus SmackDown. That's when me and MF get to really have some fun. But we'll see. We'll see what they decide to do. So, but for right now, 2.5 to 3, Nikki Cross, well deserving. It's going to be on a Friday Night SmackDown. That's the only thing that makes sense right now. So, nothing more to say. Dee Woodson, Nikki Cross, biggest opportunity of her career against the new and improved Bayley.
Yeah, finally she's going up for a chance herself instead of her trying to win Alexa Bliss a chance like she did so many times in the past. So yeah, this is definitely well deserving for her. Frankly, I don't see why Lacey Evans and Dana Brooke was actually put in this match, because neither one of them really, well, like you said, Dana just got there, or not Dana, Lacey just got there. Dana, she hasn't even really been on and won anything lately, so what gives her the right to actually go up for a title? I don't know, but it is what it is. They're the writers, not us, unfortunately. I think we probably could have done something a little better, but that's just me. But yeah, this was definitely a good match. Very excited to see that Nikki's getting a chance at the title, and this also kind of brings back that storyline we had when Nikki and Alexa were first building the friendship. Now we're kind of back to that storyline again, so we'll kind of have to see how this plays out. So yeah, I'm going to give it probably about 3 stars. This was definitely a very good match. So can't wait to see what's going to happen next, and how when they're going to actually do this match, because like you said, they don't do the ladies at Crown Jewel. So Fletch is yours.
Unfortunately, we had another cutout. It was Braun Strowman versus Drew Gulak. Braun Strowman wins the match in 3 minutes and 5 seconds. It was kind of more of a weird type of situation where Drew Gulak kind of was talking to Braun, and Flario, did he ever do this on 205 Live? This slideshow or PowerPoint presentation? Did he ever do something like this? I just need to know.
Of course, absolutely, he did. He used to talk about PowerPoint presentations back in his 205 Live days, and let me tell you, as a working man, once in a while, I do have. They do send me PowerPoint presentations to look at, and they're all very brilliantly done by the folks I work with. Shout out to them. But hey, man, don't knock the PowerPoint presentations. They're very informative.
Oh, good Lord. That was not what I was hoping to hear. Because that was pointless, unnecessary, unacceptable, mediocre, and downright reprehensible. What the hell was that?
I thought it was brilliant myself.
Of course you would. Anyway, Braun Strowman after that basically had enough of the PowerPoint and presentation, just like I would have had. And basically he beats the living daylights out of him and basically puts him away with a power slam in 3 minutes and 5 seconds. But oh, by the way, folks, 205 Live is actually back on WWE Network tonight, so enjoy it. Anyway, let's go into the main event. Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns versus King Corbin and Shinsuke Nakamura. And yes, by the way, folks, couple of notes. All right, I should address this. Number one, Team Hogan's team is complete. It now consists. What they did announce was Chad Gable and Ali has been added to Team Hogan. On top of it, Seth Rollins was taken out as captain of the team because you know he's got to fight the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, at Crown Jewel. So 2 fights in one night. We're not going to do that. So Seth is out. Roman Reigns is now the captain of Team Hogan. That's an upgrade in my view. So we got that. And then in the match itself, Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns wins the match in 9 minutes and 5 seconds. And Anthony, that championship committee moment that you were talking about, Daniel Bryan pins Shinsuke Nakamura to win the match. Nakamura is the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion. Daniel Bryan just knocked him off. Crown Jewel IC title fight. Even though I don't think Daniel's going, I haven't heard about him going to Saudi Arabia. Do they hold this off to FS1 next week?
Or future Friday Night Smackdown down the line.
Or a future Friday Night Smackdown down the line, absolutely. So,
well, I think it could be SmackDown. I mean, because of the fact that I'm sure Daniel Bryan still feels the same way he did about a year ago, going into the Saudi show this time around. So I bet he probably still has the same stance on that. So it wouldn't surprise me in the least if he refuses to go. But then again, same thing can be said for Sami Zayn. I mean, Sami Zayn's the same way. So we're just going to have to wait and see. But solid 3-star match here. Good match. Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns work well together. Like most tag matches in WWE, this broke down into a familiar formula of chaos at the end. But the crowd is so into Bryan's offense that it hardly seemed to matter. As good as he was as a heel, it's great to see him as a rejuvenated babyface again. And MF and I, we assume that this very likely sets up Daniel Bryan as the next challenger for Shinsuke Nakamura and the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship, while Roman Reigns continues in the holding pattern until Crown Jewel is in the rearview mirror. So, all that aside, MF, I want to address this. Think about this. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Daniel Bryan.
Oh, it's going to be a hell of a fight.
Are you thinking about that?
I am.
2 of the best wrestlers in the world, although Nakamura has been criminally underutilized in WWE over the last year and a half or so. You already know his struggles. Yes, he's the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, but he hasn't really done anything to get that title into prominence. You put him against, in my opinion, MF, the best damn wrestler on your show in the form of Daniel Bryan. It doesn't matter if you do it on a SmackDown. It doesn't matter if you do it in Saudi Arabia. I mean, that would be something if they talk Bryan into going. But you do that on a SmackDown down the road. I mean, if they do it for next week, that would be awesome. But Nakamura and Bryan, 2 of the best in-ring workers in our generation. You throw in the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. You get that lame duck man out of there and Sami Zayn. Let these 2 do what they do best, and that's wrestle. You let these 2 wrestle, especially with that title on the line. This could rank up there as one of the greatest Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship matches in recent memory. This could rank up there with Savage and Steamboat from WrestleMania 3. It could rank up there with Bret Hart and the British Bulldog from SummerSlam 92. It could rank up there with the Shawn and Razor ladder match. Any great Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship match from recent years. You let those two wrestle, no BS, what have you, no lame duckman nonsense. You got something really, really special on the pipeline. No doubt about it. Please, WWE, make this happen. I want to see it. I know damn sure MF wants to see it because this is his show, for goodness sakes. So make this happen. These two can wrestle. They're two of the best of all time. I don't know if they have any history together. I know MF probably knows that better than I do. But I want to see it. I want to see these two have what I know they can give us, a damn good wrestling match. Put that title on the line. Doesn't matter where you do it. You do it. Wow. That's all I'm going to say. And Brian knows what it's like. He's been the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion before. WrestleMania 31. He won that insane ladder match that opened WrestleMania 31. But unfortunately, he didn't really get to do much with it. I'm kind of hoping if they do it, hopefully they put it on Brian and they can, really, and then he can really get the run he should have had with it 4 years ago. So that's all I can say on that. Make it happen. Let's do it. So 3 stars for the match. Nothing more to say. Didi Woodson, Nakamura, and Brian down the road. No BS. Let's do it.
Yeah, no BS. I mean, even if they have to put it in a cage or something, I don't care. Anything to get Zayn out of the way. I mean, ship him back to Canada and let Nakamura do what he needs to do on his own. I mean, come on. We don't need the mouthpieces getting involved, and that's basically all they're doing with this. So, yeah, future SmackDown, future pay-per-view, whatever, I don't care. Just let them go at it. It's time we have something a little different and give Nakamura some actual talent that's worth his time to go against. So yeah, definitely 3 stars. Good match. I don't have anything negative to say about it. So Fletch, it's yours.
All right, and it's time for the overall review. So Didi Woodson, I'll let you lead off on this. So what's your thoughts?
I don't think it was a bad SmackDown. I think it was pretty good. It's not the best. We had some low points, definitely. I'm going to probably give it about 6.5 to 7 stars. The Miz TV, definitely the best segment of the night. Tag teams, definitely the best match of the night. And even the backstage stuff was really good. Not even going to touch the Gable stuff because you pretty much covered that. And I think we all said our piece last week. No matter what Gable thinks, I still don't quite agree with how they're handling that storyline. So, because most of us has been through the bullying and the teasing and stuff like that, and you don't even though he's saying embrace it and stuff, you don't find it funny. It's not something you want to sit there and have to watch. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. So all in all, though, it ended up being a pretty good show for the night. So I don't have anything else to add. So I will see you guys Monday night. Good night.
All right. I agree. I'll give it 6.5 out of 10. I thought it was a solid show. Yeah, there was a couple of moments where, there was only like 2 fights that really didn't matter. The Chad Gable versus Curtis Axel, and then the Braun Strowman versus Drew Gulak. Those are 2 matches that we kind of was like, whatever. But the Roman Reigns versus Nakamura fight was good. The tag team main event was good. The 8-man tag team match was fine, and I even didn't have any problem with the women's fight to decide the #1 contender. So it was all right. Miz TV segment of the night. All in all, I thought there was probably more good than bad on this show. But you just got to wait and see how it plays out. And at the end of the day, I'm pretty happy with the way that the show went. So 6.5 out of 10 for me. Anthony, your thoughts?
As we always like to say, especially on Raw, solid but not overly spectacular, if I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah. This didn't really feel like the official beginning to the new era of SmackDown. Week 1 on Fox was the introduction. Week 2 was the draft. Tonight felt very much like they'd already settled into a sort of groove. And I'm not sure that's a good thing. Much of the wrestling on tonight's show was filler. The storytelling is still poor. The roster doesn't look all that impressive or deep. This wasn't a downright bad show, but I'd be hard-pressed to consider it particularly good. The Shorty Gable nonsense, that's bad. Kofi's title loss amnesia is worse. The women's division looks particularly thin, considering Raw has far and away the 2 best women's wrestlers in WWE today, in the Man and the Queen, both property of Team Red. Yes. And the non-finishes continue. This was a stronger show than Raw, but that's not exactly saying all that much. The Miz TV segment, that was really the only segment of the night, so by default, it is the segment of the night. Yes, we had a few solid matches. The 8-man tag was the fight of the night. The tag team main event was solid and well done. The Intercontinental match, that could have gotten really, really good until that ridiculous finish, and then the women's 6-pack was fine for what it was, and we got the outcome that we wanted. Far and away the most deserving woman of the bunch wound up getting the win. I'm glad they got that right at least. So Brother Love's got some work to do. That's all I can say on that. It's a work in progress for your new executive director, Mr. Brother Love, alias Bruce Pritchard. So that's all I can say on that. So
if there's one person who I know will turn this around, it's Bruce. Bruce has been doing this for a long time.
40 years.
Yeah. So no, I got nothing but good. I got all the faith in the world that he will be able to turn this around. It seems like Eric Bischoff really, really, really caused a lot of. If you've been hearing the dirt sheets, apparently Eric Bischoff caused a lot of problems over there, so they needed to get rid of him.
Yeah, because he was never really a SmackDown guy. He was always a Raw guy. I mean, that's why he was the general manager of Monday Night Raw, and he did that so damn well. But yeah, I do agree. You thought you were going to get that Eric Bischoff that was the GM of Raw for a good 3.5 to 4 years. I mean, if you had gotten that Eric Bischoff, oh boy, SmackDown would be whooping our butts every week. But nonetheless, yeah, Bruce Pritchard, over 40 years of experience. I mean, hey, if it wasn't for him, MF, Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross would still be property of Team Red.
That's true. About that. That's why I was ecstatic when I heard it on backstage.
And that's why I was not so thrilled about that, because we had a big 3. Now it's only a big 2. But we'll have to wait and see on that. So really nothing more to say on this. 6.5 to 7. That is the correct rating for this. Slight edge to SmackDown, even though Raw had an okay effort too. So hopefully Monday night, when Raw has their first show with our new lineup, hopefully we'll blow you boys out and we get a big show in Cleveland. So that's all there is to say on that. So for the first time in a while, And for the first time on a Friday night, we actually have a Mikey's Mindset and a loaded one at that MF. Let's have it.
Well, it starts off, and I'm gonna be real honest with you guys. It was good. It wasn't so spectacular. The Mikey's Mindset. I think what I was thinking was that at the end of the day, all right, we're gonna do Ring of Honor. We're gonna do that real quick, and then we're gonna do MLW, and we're gonna get into them as well. Let me just get this up quick. There we go. I'll start with MLW. All right. So in MLW, as this thing is trying to get in, oh, come on. I apologize, guys. I know how Florio feels about slow internets, and unfortunately, mine is going pretty slow right at the moment. So, see, Florio, you're not the only one that has these kind of issues. All right. So, what we did have on MLW, see if it comes up. Here we go. And we started it off with the match. Actually, all right, here we go. So, MLW. What we had on this show, we started it off with, all right, we had a three-way fight as it was Ricky Martin, Black Danger, and O'Connell in a match, and it was O'Connell getting the win. It was a strong match, good start, no doubt about it. I really enjoyed it. And then after that, in our second fight of the night, we had was the Crashes heavyweight champion, Ray Hortis, going up against the MLW National Openweight champion, Alexander Hammerstone. And guys, here's a big fight. Title for title. That's right. And when it was all said and done, the winner of the bout by disqualification was Ray Hortis because, all right, MJF and Richard Holiday interfered and jumped and caused a DQ finish. Horrible way to end the fight, but the crowd didn't seem like they were interested in it. They didn't really care. So, in our main event, it was MJF and Richard Holiday versus El La Parca Jr. and El Hijo de L.A. Park with Zelina de Reina and this was for the MLW World Tag Team Championship, winners of the bout, and still MLW World Tag Team Champions, MJF and Richard Holiday. Pretty good fight, solid match in the main event. And when it was all said and done, guys, my overall review for it, or my overall rating, I'll give this about maybe 6 out of 10. I've seen some better MLW matches in my day. I've seen some better MLW matches altogether. Yeah, it was solid for what it was worth. Overly spectacular. There was more good than bad, to be really honest with you guys. So we're just going to dive right in to Ring of Honor. That's right. It's been a long time since I've done Ring of Honor. We started it off with really more of a formula type show, as they talked about how Rush became the Ring of Honor World Champion, defeating Matt Taven at Death Before Dishonor. And then we had Quinn McKay and Ian Rakabani. They were talking about it, and they started it off. They were pretty much promoting the show. Then we talked about when Kelly Klein lost her Ring of Honor Women's World Title, the Women of Honor Championship, to Angelina Love. That's right, Angelina Love won the championship at Final Battle. And now it set it up the first fight of the night, which was Silas Young and Josh Woods versus Coast to Coast Ali and LSG. And it was Silas Young and Josh Woods getting the victory. Fight was fine. Nothing amazing to talk about. We just got to go and move on, and we'll see what happens next. Next up we had was, as many of you guys know, there's a tournament going on to determine the number one contender for the Ring of Honor World Title, as it was Jay Lethal going one-on-one with PJ Black. Now, a lot of people know that originally this was supposed to be this was not supposed to have been PJ Black, that this was supposed to have been somebody else, but there was an injury that happened. It was supposed to be Bandito. Bandito was supposed to fight against Jay Lethal, but Bandito got injured, is out of the tournament, so Jay Lethal had to fight PJ Black, and Jay Lethal advances. So it was only a 2-fight card. Solid match, to say the very least. As far as the show goes overall, 5 out of 10. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the format. I loved how it used to be more wrestling than action. I just don't think it's really anything spectacular now. I really think Ring of Honor is really taking a step backwards, guys, and they really need to get better. So I got nothing more to say. That's your Mikey's Mindset. We're done for tonight. Anthony, come on in. Hit us with the upcoming content, as we do have NFL Saturday tomorrow.
Yes, indeed. Tomorrow night, I'm guessing the usual time.
Yes.
All right. I just want to make sure. What the best time is for everybody. So, all right. So 10:30 tomorrow night, NFL Saturday. We will get into all the games of Week 7, and we do have an update on the Patrick Mahomes situation, the injury that he suffered last night. Thankfully, it's not as devastating of news as I thought it would be. I thought he was done for the year. Apparently not. So it's not as much as I thought it would be. I am very encouraged by that. So I will have to sit him for a few weeks in the fantasy, but we'll get into that tomorrow night. Some big games to look forward to: Houston Texans, Indianapolis Colts, first place in the AFC South on the line. An old school NFL matchup: the Oakland Raiders and the Green Bay Packers squaring off. New Orleans Saints, Chicago Bears. That's a great one as well. Baltimore Ravens against the Seattle Seahawks. Oh boy, that's a great one there. And then from there, Philadelphia Eagles, Dallas Cowboys, NFC East implications. They're just all of the games that we're going to get into tomorrow night on NFL Saturday. And then Monday night, we have Ridiculously Raw. Raw's first night with our new roster. Praying for a blow-away show, but we'll have to find out what happens. Tony's Take comes back. 205 Live, Impact Wrestling, the final Impact Wrestling, not just before Bound for Glory, but also the final Impact Wrestling on the Pursuit channel. Because starting this week with the preview show, and then on the 29th, Impact Wrestling moves to Tuesday nights on Access TV. Very excited about that. It's on a night and time I can actually sit down and watch it for a change. That's great. I can't really do it because of these shows, but I DVR it, but with football and everything else, I can't do it. So Tuesday nights at 8, that works perfectly for me. So can't wait for that. And then in addition to that Impact Wrestling review for this week, I will also have the results of Bound for Glory, TNA's version of WrestleMania, headlined by Brian Cage and Sami Callihan for the Impact World Championship. It's going to be a great night. So that's on Monday. And then Wednesday night, we got Wednesday Night Mayhem with our brand new host, good old MF Michael Fletcher, as we will review both NXT and AEW Dynamite. College football Thursday. Notre Dame and Michigan. Yee-haw. That's all I'm going to say on that. Throw in Wisconsin and Ohio State. Throw in Auburn and LSU. You got another big triple header. The triple header next week is even bigger than this week's. That's all I can say on that. Those 3 games. Oh, my gosh. And then, hey, MF, next week, Cerebral Smack Talk. Friday night, let's do it. So nothing more to say. We'll see you tomorrow night, 10:30, NFL Saturday, Week 7 edition. Myself and MF. Hopefully, Bullock will be there as well. So can't wait to break it all down. So nothing more to say. MF, let's put a bow on this thing.
All right, and thank you, Anthony Flayo. Thank you, Dede Woodson, Michael Bullock, in spirit, Derek Ferreira in spirit, guys. And thank you, guys. Like the video, leave a comment at the bottom, share with all your friends on all social media platforms. We'll see you guys tomorrow for NFL Saturday. And until then, you guys know the routine. Hugs and hand pounds. We are out. Have a good night, everybody, and so long for now. Bye-bye.